Hello everyone and welcome to new Coach Kenny Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez, driver for Steam Mercy, and today we are here for the second week of the Advanced Mazda MX-5 series. So obviously with the MX-5 we're on Interlagos for this week. So yeah, as usual, first I go with Jet Lab and then we will get into the details about this combo. So yep, let's get started. Alright everyone, so we will go for the lap around Interlagos with the MX-5. So as you saw, we crossed the start finish line, and then quickly after that you are already going into the braking zone of the turn one. So usually I think with most of the cars you're going to brake at the 50, but obviously with faster cars you are going to brake around the 50 pretty much, or maybe a tiny bit after. But yeah, this time we are with the MX-5, quite a lot less power I would say. You are not even getting over 190 I guess at the best, depends of the condition. This time it's like 185, but yeah, as you can imagine, it's far from the standards you know from the GT3s, for example, or even the prototypes. But yeah, this time we're braking quite late actually. I'm at first I'm looking at the 50 because this is pretty much what I'm used to use as a braking reference. So basically, when you are arriving at that point, it's sort of blind because of the crest. So you can look at first at the 50, and then when you are getting near the braking zone, then I'm starting to look at the um, the grass area just right there. You have this sort of runoff, and then you arrive on the grass. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm going to brake pretty much next to the Marshall spot on the right side with the number one. This is next to that I'm going to brake. As you can see, the closer I'm getting to it, I'm starting to like release the throttle, and then I will just go on the brake. So not far away from the Marshall post on the right side. I'm just going to. This is basically the point, the reference you could use as a braking reference. As you can see, I'm braking before, so do not try to brake too late. Um, this is the thing as well with the MX-5. Like, it's not because you are braking late that you are going to make a lot of speed of time on the entry. It can be also the opposite, because if you are braking too late and you arrive with too much speed, the front is really easy to not spin, but like the front lose all of the grip, and then it feels like you are getting understeer a lot. So yeah, and then it's quite difficult to get back to get back the grip. So yeah, just try to make sure you find the right mix between braking late, but at the same time making sure you're not braking too late, so then you don't lose the grip. So yeah. Once again, braking at the marshal post, just a tiny bit before the marshal post, and then as you can see, I'm trying to keep the car as straight as I can. For the braking, it gives me more confidence. It keeps the car stable as well. So this is the thing. I guess with any cars, the more straight you are braking as well, the easier it gets, because obviously if you are steering and at the same time braking, it gets more difficult, and you can also lose some brake performance as well. So yeah, as you can see, I'm keeping the car straight and then I'm going down the gears. Now I'm down to second, so this is pretty much what I'm using in the medium speed corners. In the very slow corners, we will see I will drop to first, but yeah, with second it's quite good because you always get a good speed on the way out. So as you can see for T1, I'm braking about 75% or maybe 80 maximum, and then as you can see, once I'm starting to slowly steer to the left, as you can see, takes me some time to steer to the left. I'm just waiting, and then once I'm getting into the corner, then I'm starting to steer to the left, and then as you can see, I'm just releasing the brakes to get the rotation. Then as you can see, there are a tiny bit of time when I'm not really putting in inputs. That's quite good because you don't really want to cross in any case the inputs, because this kind of thing can hurt a bit tires. And also, yeah, sometimes it gives good rotation as well to the car. Um, like most of the time with the GT4, I always say that it's good to be quick on your inputs. But yeah, sometimes with the GT4, with the slower cars, it feels like you don't really need to push that much to get the rotation, which is a different way to drive. But once you understand that, it's quite easy to make it work. So yeah. So like I said, second, and then as you will see, I'm cutting a fair amount of the inside. Like I'm almost putting half of the car um, into the grass. Maybe not half, but at least the left part of the car is a bit on the grass. This is because I wanna open up the second corner, which is just in front of us. So ideally, I don't wanna arrive like too wide on the exit, because I want to make sure I can carry as much speed as I can without putting too much steering angle and putting too much effort into the steering. So yeah, ideally I want to make sure I can get out of this one tighter, so then I can prepare my way out of this right one. So yeah, and also now it feels like you cannot cut as much as before, the right hander. So yeah, it feels even more important to um, get out tight of this first corner, so then you can get a good momentum through the second one. So yeah, so as you can see, just before hitting the apex, I'm just going on throttle. I'm trying to be sort of kind, but then once the car is back on the track and is not like sort of flying into the air, which can cause some oversteer, then I can go fully on throttle, just lifting a tiny bit, I believe, when I'm going into the right one. But then yeah, same as you can see, I did cut a tiny bit with the right wheels, but yeah, it's quite okay. The only thing is to make sure you don't cut too much, obviously, and I think you need a bit of lift, because um, if you don't need a lift, this means you really nailed the corner, but I'm not even sure it's possible. So yeah, and also this means you don't have like you have a very little amount of steering angle, but I don't think it's really possible, to be fair. So yeah, so I think in like 99% of the cases, you need to have some lift through the second corner. So yeah, then we have this very long left, so nothing to worry about. Just stay all the way on the inside to really shorten the distance, and then we will add into turn 4, I guess, 4, 5, 4 maybe. So this one, using the 50 board on the right side, so I'm just basically braking quite a bit before the 50 actually. I don't know if you can see that, but like the white line is sort of like the track gets wider from that point. You can see the white line going a bit more to the right, I would say. So it looks like the track is getting wider on the braking zone. So this is what I'm using. So as you will see, when I'm getting close of this thing, which is not so far away from the 50, so that's why I tell you the 50, but yeah, it's a bit before. It's like the Marshall post at T1. I'm braking a bit before that, so it's the same there. But yeah, I'm fairly close from what I told you for the white line. So I guess if I just go slightly backward, yeah, you can see it slightly just right there. So you can see that the track gets sort of wider or it goes to the right. So this is what I'm using as a reference. And as you can see, once I'm getting close to it, I'm just going on the brake, and then I will do the same, drop down the gears. I will aim for then the apex, so you can cut quite a bit this right one, which is quite cool. So then you can have a better momentum through the exit. So as you can see, I will go on the brake. I'm not going to brake so deep, like I'm braking around 70%. So then I'm just trying to make sure I keep the car sort of straight at the beginning, and then I'm just releasing the brakes as soon as I'm like turning in. But yeah, as you can see, I'm not really I don't really bring the car on the brakes. Like I'm just trying to slow it down, and then with its momentum on the way in, the car is quite easy to rotate. It's not the toughest car to rotate, so you don't really need to bring the car um, with the brakes, and also because you need to carry a lot of momentum. So yeah, you want to avoid braking as much as you can. So yeah, as you can see on the brakes, I will drop to second once again, releasing the brakes. Now I'm just using the momentum of the car for the rotation. The car has rotation, so I don't really need to stay on the brakes to get the rotation. Cutting the corner without using so much curb. Actually, as you can see, it's I don't know if you could use more. Like I think you could, but the curb sometimes can upset a bit the car. So yeah, just like that, I think it's fine. It doesn't make the car um moving too much into the corner, and then you can still have a good momentum because from the apex to the way out, I'm not lifting at all. So this means it's quite good, I guess. So yeah, so as you can see, maybe I'm using like half of the curb. I'm not using the high part of the curb. Um, that's what I mean. So yeah, I'm just using the lower part, which is at the same time almost the flat part of the curb. So yeah, and then full throttle using all of the curb on the outside with the left wheels. Obviously, keep a margin. Do not go too close to the edge of the curb, otherwise you can get the off track. So yeah. Then this left one is flat out. You just wanna shorten the distance, and then we will head into this right one, which goes uphill. So as you can see, once I'm getting close of this left thing, like a few meters before, that's what I'm using as a reference. Most of the time when I have a reference, I'm always doing things before, but that thing actually you don't really have another reference um, to tell you where you should turn in. So yeah, once I'm getting close to this, I know that okay, this is the time you have to turn in. So you know that you have to turn in earlier than that point. So just do it right now. That's pretty much what I'm telling. That's what my mind tells me when I'm getting close of this thing. And for quite a few references around the track, because it's not so easy to get references around this track. So yeah, once I'm close to these, I'm just releasing the brakes, the throttle, going on the brakes slightly, and then once I'm on the first part of the curb, then I'm just managing with the throttle. As you can see, the rotation comes in quite naturally. So yeah, the only thing once again is to make sure you are not coming in with too much speed. That's the main thing, because if you arrive with too much speed, then the front is going to get um out of the window. You're going to lose the grip, and then you are going to lose a lot of time because you will try to bring back the car into the line, but you have to slow down. This means you are losing time. You are going uphill as well, which means it can um, hurt even more the speed if you need to slow down, and the time, of course, at the end. So yeah, ideally, you don't want to arrive with so much speed into this corner. You want to arrive with a lot of speed, but not too much. That's the thing. Otherwise, you are going to lose time. So yeah. Then as you can see, a tiny bit of braking. I'm not braking so much actually for this one. I am with third. I didn't put fourth before, so you can stay with third all the way. I tried to drop down to second for this one, but it doesn't feel better. I think third is the way to go if you carry enough speed. Third is really good into this right one. So yeah, as you can see, some braking on the way in, but then once the car is settled, and once you've put the car on the curbing, then out of the curbing, full throttle, almost. At times, like sometimes it feels like the car is going a tiny bit wider, so you need to slightly lift for a split second, and then you can go back. But yeah, it's almost like full throttle all the way, depending if the car um, gets a tiny bit of understeer um, into the corner. But yeah, it's a really fast corner. And then, as you can see, trying to stay tight in the second one as well, using the curb on the left. And then, as you can see, it's pretty much the same reference as turn 4, like when the white line changed direction. Like now it feels like the track is getting tighter at that point. So I'm going on the brake. As you can see, trying to keep the car as straight as I can. That's what I told you before. It gives you some braking performance, and it makes the car more stable, because obviously if I'm starting to keep steering to the right, dropping gears, I need to drop to first this time. It's not going to work. You will just lose the rear. So ideally, the first part of the braking, as you will see, you need to make sure you keep the car as straight as you can. As you can see, I'm trying to fight a bit the car to keep it straight, but then once when the first gear is settled and the car feels a bit more stable, then I'm starting to steer to the right. But just before that, I'm really working on my braking, my downshift, and at the same time, I'm trying to get a decent line, so then I don't have to make a massive effort to turn the car when everything is done. So yeah, I'm trying to place the car in the right position, doing all of the stuff I told you before, and then I can turn to the right. So yeah. So once again, as you can see, curb gets to the right, putting the car straight on the brakes, dropping to first, and then once the car is settled, I'm steering to the right, using all of the curb on the inside, but not too much because you can get the off track. So I guess as soon as you stay on the normal curb, you are okay. But yeah, if you are cutting more than that, back in the days you could cut a lot. I think this one, but yeah, now it's the same as turn 2, I guess. They made it a bit more strict, so yeah, you cannot cut as much as before. But yeah. For the braking for this one, braking about 70%, maybe a bit less. Yeah, just between 65 and 70%. And then, as you will see, getting into the corner, raising the brakes, and yeah, then early on throttle. So on the apex, back on throttle, trying to get the rotation as well, putting the car in the middle, and then once the car is entering the corner, basically when it does almost when you are next to the curb on the inside of this one. I think that's what I'm using from inside the car. I need to check into the cockpit, but I guess this is what I'm using as well. So yeah, when I'm getting into the corner, which does match the curb on the left, this one, you can see just right there, I'm releasing the throttle. Then I'm going on the brake. I will slow down the curve, but not so much. I think I stayed with first. If I'm not mistaken, I think I stay with first. Yeah, I stay with first. As you can see, I'm not really touching the brakes. Like a tiny bit of amount of braking, but I'm not even sure it does change something. And if you brake too much, actually I got caught a few times, not a few times, but yeah, 1 or 2 times during the session. Like if you put too much braking, the car is snapping really quickly, and then it's tough to get it back. I mean you can, but you will lose quite some time. So yeah, you don't really you you can brake, but you really have to be kind with the brakes. Otherwise, it's really easy to lose the back end. So yeah. Um, then you just control with the throttle. You stay all the way on the inside, and then once you are facing the exit, full throttle up to second, using the curb on the outside, and then I will just prepare the last hairpin of the track. So I'm going slightly wider, and then once I'm next to the tree, I would say on the left. Like you can see, like the tire wall goes back into the track pretty much. It comes from the exit. Of course, you cannot see it. It comes from the exit road, and then it goes next to the track. So this is pretty much what I'm using. Once I'm next to it, I'm just going on the brake. So as you can see, I'm going a bit wide to open up the corner, and then I'm doing pretty much the same as what I did into this one in terms of approach, in terms of braking, how I'm trying to settle the car. I will just try to make sure that once I'm going on the brake, I steer to the left, so I try to put the car as straight as I can. But as you can imagine, you cannot put like the car fully straight because the car is arriving fast. So yeah, I'm trying to make as much as I can the work I need to do in the maybe first second of the braking, but then obviously I need to steer to the right because I don't wanna I wanna take the corner basically. But as you can see, the car turns to the right, and I'm keep steering to the left. So this means the car naturally is taking the corner. So that's why you don't really need to force the car to get into the corner, because naturally, maybe I guess it's the camber, it's the way I'm also placing the car. Maybe I'm putting a tiny bit of steering at the beginning to the right, you can see, and probably this is what this is enough to like put the car into the right hander, and then I just need to control with the steering to the left to keep the car as stable as I can at the beginning, but I don't need to put so much steering to the right. The car is already getting into the corner even without steering to the right. So if you add the braking and then the fact that you have to drop to first to the steering angle to the right, then you maximize the chances to lose the car. But by doing like the work at the beginning to steer to the right, then you put the car into the right direction. Then once you go on the brake, the car is naturally going to go on the right, and then you just need to steer to control a bit the car to keep it stable. And once the car is settled, as you can see, I will drop to first now. Then once the car is settled, I can steer to the right, go back on power when I'm on the apex, and then I can just open the steering, get the momentum. Then the next one is a flat corner, so you will stay all the way on the left to shorten the distance. And then we are arriving in the, I guess we will call this the last corner of the track, because then it's a very long, it's a long straight with fast left-handers, but it's fully flat in any cars. So yeah, we will call it the last proper corner of the track. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not going so wide because now it's not allowed. You are getting the slowdown, a big slowdown actually. It's 2.5 seconds, I believe. So yeah, now you can just leave the car in the middle. So basically, you can you can drive with the white line in the middle of the car, maybe a bit more, but yeah, it's not more than that actually. So yeah, you can, yeah, I guess you can put the white line in the left half of the car, but not more than that. I think if you drive on the white line with the left wheels, it's already too much. So yeah. So as you can see, just putting the car, we will say, like, if you take the, of course I'm showing you with my finger, but you cannot see, like this bend on the steering, like the orange, which defines the center of the wheel, like you can pretty much match the white line with this. So this gives you a good reference. So yeah, as soon as you are facing the white line, you are fine. So yeah, it gives you a nice example actually. It's quite helpful, this thing, because it's really helpful for you for the last corner, to not going too wide on the entry. So yeah, and then as a reference, before, like where I'm braking, you can see that the line gets a bit all over the place at that point. You can see it goes to the left, then to the right, then back to the left, because I guess then it follows the shape of the corner. So as you can see, just before arriving on that thing, I'm just going on the brakes. So yeah, ideally you don't want to brake too late going into this one, because like I said for turn 4, if you, or it was turn 1, I don't remember, but yeah, if you arrive with too much speed, you lose the front. So with the very long straight you have after that, if you do that kind of mistake, it's going to be really costly. also, if you are going too wide, the grass is not so far away. So yeah, it can be a big chunk of points, of speed and of time you are going to lose. So yeah, ideally, you want to make sure you optimize the entry, but not too much, because then if you can take the risk, but if you make the mistake, then it's really costly. So yeah, but in the other end, the idea is to make sure you are not like compromising too much, because you can lose also a lot on the entry if you are not making um if you are not taking you're not getting enough momentum on the way in. So yeah, so you can see the line getting a bit all over the place. Going on the brakes, we'll drop to second, and then I will just bring the car into the corner, release the brake, take the curb, and then, as you can see, once I'm on the curb, I just smash the throttle, just try to get as much momentum as I can, trying to not get too wide. I don't think it's really necessary. As you can see, I'm not trying to go really close to the grass, because I don't think it does make any it doesn't give you any benefits with this car. It doesn't feel like so yeah. Ideally you want to make sure you make good use of the track, but without going massively wide, because at the end of the day it's also um it's making you run more distance as well. So it's something you always try to avoid. And yeah, if we are seeing this from outside the car, using like a fair amount of curb without using too much curb, and then once you are on the curb, full throttle. If we are checking this from Delta, I guess it's about 65% on the brakes on the way in, dropping to second as usual, and then yeah, once you are on the curb, full throttle, and then yeah, I won't really tell you anything after this corner, because it's fully flat. So yeah, you just basically try to shorten the distance, run the less distance possible to minimize to lower the time, and then yeah, close to the pit wall on the left, and then we are crossing the line around Interlagos with the MX-5. Alright everyone, so we're done for today. That was the week 2 lap guide of the advanced Mazda MX-5 series, with the MX-5 of course around Interlagos. I hope you learned from this lap guide and you found it useful. Of course, that's the main target when we are making our lap guides. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Coach Dev Academy channel, and join the Discord server if you have any questions about all the work we're making. And from now, I see you next week for the third week of the season. See you next time, bye bye.